IG-11. IG-11 is the assassin droid from The Mandalorian, and yeah, he's the one that tried to vaporize Grogu in the very first episode. Built by the same designers who created IG-88, IG-11 is a deadly, fast-talking, trigger-happy killer programmed for maximum efficiency. In his original programming, he was just another cold-blooded bounty hunter droid hired by the client, that creepy ex-Imperial with a thing for Beskar. But the twist? After getting blown up by Din Djarin, IG-11 was reprogrammed by Keel, the Ugnaught, and became a nurse droid with a heart. Well, sort of. What makes IG-11 stand out is how precise and fast he is in combat. In the shootout at Navarro, he spun around on his speeder bike while blasting stormtroopers without even breaking stride. He took blaster shots like they were nothing and kept going. He was also able to self-destruct to protect Grogu, showing how reprogramming can totally flip a droid's personality. Before that heroic sacrifice, he even took out an entire squad of Imperials inside Moff Gideon's base, by himself. His design is very similar to IG-88's, with those long limbs and rotating torso that make him hard to hit and even harder to escape. And yes, Taika Waititi voiced him, which made him somehow hilarious and terrifying at the same time. IG-11 is a fan favorite not just because he's cool-looking and deadly, but because he's one of the few assassin droids who actually got a redemption arc. HK-87. HK-87 assassin droids are the creepy red-eyed enforcers that show up in The Mandalorian and Ahsoka. They're sleek, humanoid droids with gray armor, glowing eyes, and sharp, jerky movements that make them feel like something out of a horror movie. They were created by Morgan Elsbeth, who worked with Grand Admiral Thrawn, and you first see them in The Mandalorian, Season 2, Episode 5, The Jedi. In that episode, Ahsoka Tano is hunting down Morgan Elsbeth on the planet Corvus. Elsbeth's personal guards include these droids, and right away, you can tell they're not your standard clankers. They're fast, quiet, and use melee weapons with precision. One even faces off against Ahsoka in a close duel, and actually manages to hold her off for a few seconds, which says a lot. Most droids wouldn't last a heartbeat against a Jedi. In Ahsoka, they show up again, this time protecting Elsbeth and working under the orders of Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati. The droids are more polished now, and you see them operate in squads, using advanced coordination and tactics. They're inspired by the older HK series assassin droids, like the infamous from Legends, but reimagined for the new canon. HK stands for Hunter-Killer, which is exactly what they are. They're brutal, loyal, and silent, making them perfect bodyguards and executioners. And with their sharp design and glowing faces, they've become one of the standout droid threats in the new era of Star Wars storytelling. 4LOM. 4LOM is a protocol droid turned bounty hunter, and yeah, he looks like C-3PO fused with a giant bug. You first see him in The Empire Strikes Back, standing with the lineup of bounty hunters Vader brings in to track down the Millennium Falcon. While he doesn't say anything on screen, his weird appearance definitely makes an impression. Shiny greenish metal body, stiff movements, and that insect-like head with glowing red eyes. Originally, 4LOM was built as a standard protocol droid meant for translation and etiquette, like C-3PO. But something went wrong with his programming. He became self-aware and decided that working for people wasn't really his style. So instead of translating languages, he started tracking bounties across the galaxy. He teamed up with another bounty hunter, Zuckuss, and the two became a deadly duo, especially in Star Wars Legends. They've shown up together in various comics, and even made canon appearances in the Clone Wars animated series, though briefly. What makes 4LOM different from other assassin droids is that he still keeps some of that protocol droid vibe. He's calm, calculated, and speaks in a polite tone while aiming a blaster at your face. He's clever, too, more of a strategist than just a walking death machine. In canon, there's not a ton of screen time for him, but he's become a fan favorite thanks to his bizarre look and that whole droid gone rogue backstory. Basically, if 3PO had a dark side and hung out with bounty hunters, you'd get 4LOM. BX Series Commando Droid. BX Series Commando droids are some of the coolest and deadliest droids from Star Wars, The Clone Wars. Unlike the regular B-1 battle droids that talk like confused vacuum cleaners, BX droids are fast, smart, and actually dangerous. They were made by the Separatists to take on elite missions, Think sabotage, infiltration, and ambushes. And they look the part too. Sleek black armor, glowing photoreceptors, and a humanoid build that lets them move like real soldiers. These guys first show up in Season 1, Episode 10 of the Clone Wars, titled Lair of Grievous. Right away, you can tell they're no joke. They move silently, coordinate tactics, and even dodge blaster fire like pros. Later in the series, they're used in tons of key battles. In Season 2, Episode 5, Landing at Point Rain, you see them fighting toe-to-toe with clones on Geonosis, using cover, flanking, and actual strategy. Yeah, battle droids using tactics. Wild. What makes them so dangerous is their ability to mimic organic soldiers. They can even disguise themselves in Republic armor, like in Season 3, Episode 2, ARC Troopers, where they sneak into Kamino to try and take out the clone production facilities. That episode really shows how far they'll go to complete a mission and how effective they are at getting close without being detected. BX droids are strong in hand-to-hand combat too. They're often seen using vibra swords and can hold their own against clones and even Jedi for a few seconds. Not bad for droids with serial numbers. C-21 Heisinger. C-21 Heisinger is one of the coolest and most underrated assassin droids in Star Wars, The Clone Wars. He's only in one episode, Season 4, Episode 20, titled Bounty, but he makes a serious impression. Picture a towering, steampunk-looking droid with a deep mechanical voice and a literal rotating machine gun for a torso. Yeah, he's built like a walking turret, and he's just as deadly. Heisinger teams up with a crew of bounty hunters, including Boba Fett, Bossk, Latz Razzie, Denga, and Asajj Ventress. Their job? Escort a valuable cargo through the dangerous underworld of Corzite. It's basically a high-stakes train mission, and C-21 brings the heavy firepower. He barely speaks, but when the blasters start flying, he spins into action with full auto-fire from his rotating chest blasters, mowing down enemies like it's nothing. He doesn't get much screen time outside this episode, but his design and fighting style made him an instant fan favorite. Think of him as the Star Wars version of a Terminator with class. His design even has similarities to early Ralph McQuarrie droid concepts, which makes him feel retro but advanced at the same time. Even though he hasn't shown up in live action yet, C-21 Heisinger still gets love in comics and fan discussions. He's the kind of one-shot character that proves how rich the Clone Wars series really is. Just one episode, and he's instantly memorable.